Fuel spill in Sturgeon Lake leads to a drinking water advisory. Dan Kearns, The Standard. Kawartha Lakes. The Haliburton-Kawartha Pine Ridge District Health Unit, HKPR, has issued a drinking water advisory for some Kawartha Lakes residents after a reported fuel spill in Sturgeon Lake. A drinking water advisory, DWA, has been issued for those drawing drinking water directly from Sturgeon Lake in part of Pitts Cove Road and Hazel Street to McLernon Street. On Thursday, March 30th, around 10:30 p.m., fuel odors from a culvert were reported to the local fire department, where a boom was then placed in the lake near the culvert. The Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks was notified, and an inspector attended to the spill the following day. Approximately 30 homes are affected, an HKPR press release stated. The HKPR District Health Unit is urging people who draw water directly from this affected section of Sturgeon Lake to use bottled water for drinking purposes until further notice. Because of the nature of the fuel spill, boiling water is not effective. Water should not be used for cooking, making juice and infant formula, washing fruits and vegetables, dishwashing, or brushing teeth. Ontario's Ministry of the Environment, Conservation and Parks issued a statement confirming they were aware of the issue. The Ministry of the Environment, Conservation and Parks takes all spills and threats to the environment very seriously. Our role is to assess any environmental impacts and ensure the responsible parties eliminate any adverse effects, clean up the spill, and restore the natural environment, the statement read. On Thursday, March 30th, the Ministry's Spills Action Center received a report of odors within a culvert and discoloration at the culvert's outfall in Sturgeon Lake. The City of Kawartha Lakes Fire Department had responded and placed spill containment equipment within the lake near the outfall. The statement added, the next day, staff with the Ministry and the City of Kawartha Lakes visited the site, and the spill is believed to be a small amount of hydrocarbons. The source of the spill is near Hazel and Hilltop Streets. The impacted area is limited to an approximate area of 50 to 75 meters by 5 meters along the shoreline. The City of Kawartha Lakes has retained the services of a cleanup contractor and environmental consultant to further assess, contain, and mitigate the spill. This work is ongoing. The Ministry continues to assess possible sources and will ensure the spill is cleaned up. We will stay on top of this issue, the statement concluded. Join the Pet Value Walk for Dog Guides in May 2023. Courtney McClure, The Standard. Scugog. The Port Perry Pet Value Walk for Dog Guides fundraiser is just around the corner. So lace up your shoes and get your best pal ready for Sunday, May 28th. Funds from this event go to the Lions Foundation of Canada, which uses it to provide dog guides at no cost to Canadians with disabilities. The donation goal for this year is set around $3,000. Last year, the walk raised over $30,000. The Port Perry Walk begins at 10 a.m. in Palmer Park in Port Perry, and you don't need a dog to participate. It's just great to be together outside, walking with our dogs and having fun, said Sue Brain. Ms. Brain is one of the organizers of the Port Perry Walk for Dog Guides. In 2022, about 200 walkers and over 100 dogs participated in the Port Perry Walk. We are expecting a lot more participants this year, said Mr. Fanati. He added about 38% of last year's participants were not from Scugog. Participants can learn the value of dog guides and how they help many Canadians with disabilities. Voss's Independent Grocer in Port Perry is providing the walk with lunch, including hot dogs, chips, and pop. I'm so proud to work with a group of people who bring so much of themselves to the community and enjoy the work we do, said Scott Riley, one of the co-organizers. It pays off for everybody, he added. If you would like to register for the Port Perry Walk, you can register online at www.walkfordogguides.com. The deadline for registration is May 28th. Remember to look for sponsors before the day of the walk and consider donating to the cause. The sponsor sheets, labeled as the walk donation form on the website, are available on the Walk for Dog Guides website. If you are interested in volunteering with the Port Perry Walk for Dog Guides, please contact them at portperrywalkfordogguides@gmail.com. Kawartha Lakes looking at regulation options for short-term rental properties. Dan Kearns, The Standard. Kawartha Lakes. City of Kawartha Lakes Council is expected to continue conversations on the potential regulation of short-term rental properties next week. Short-term rental properties can include Airbnbs and VRBOs, vacation rentals by owner. At a lengthy meeting on Tuesday, April 4th, councillors saw an update presentation on the issue by Aaron Sloan, the city's manager of municipal law enforcement and licensing, as well as heard numerous deputations on both sides of the issue from residents and property owners. Short-term rentals are a very popular discussion in this municipality right now, Manager Sloan told councillors. He noted there is a negative perception around these types of properties and stated there is some angst with everybody involved. Manager Sloan stressed the city's goal in tackling this issue is keeping Kawartha Lakes as a place of destination for everybody to enjoy. The city of Kawartha Lakes has been studying this issue since 2017. What complicates this issue is no municipality's strategy to tackle this issue is overly similar to another. There are many different models, so it's really not one shoe that fits everything. So suggesting the regulation is difficult, Manager Sloan said. Cheryl Redfern, a resident who lives near a short-term rental property, told councillors she lives with the constant fear of never knowing if I'm safe or not. Susan Alden argued if a property is owned by a corporation with an absentee owner, it is in effect a hotel, and the rules for commercial properties should apply to that residence. Afe Hellman said more residents don't speak up about the issue because people get intimidated, people get harassed, people put up with bullying, and people put up with garbage. However, Ross Fogwell opined the vast majority of owners are respective hosts and stated he's never had an issue with people who stay at his short-term rental property. Anna Turek called it a misconception short-term rental properties are causing the majority of resident noise complaints. With a hefty agenda ahead of them, Mayor Doug Elmsley decided discussion on a report from Manager Sloan about regulation options would be deferred to a committee of the whole meeting on Tuesday, April 18th.
Welcome to You've Got to Be Kidding, a podcast that offers a different perspective of life around us. Listen now to author Jonathan van Bilsen.
Sometimes when forging through history, seemingly uneventful events are discovered and often discarded. Occasionally, such components, when pieced together, create an entirely different story. Such is the case with a chance event I happened on purely by accident. I came to Canada with my family on August the 14th many years ago. We flew from Amsterdam on the most luxurious aircraft of the time, the Lockheed Super Constellation, affectionately known as the Connie. This state-of-the-art airplane held up to 90 passengers with a first-class cabin at the rear away from the engine noise. The aircraft, of which 579 were made, had a range of 5,500 kilometers, which meant our trek took us from Amsterdam to Shannon, Ireland, from there to Gander, Newfoundland, and then to Montreal. The entire trip was 17 hours, with the transatlantic portion being 11 of those. Yesterday, I was glancing at my iPad, searching for something, when I stumbled across a photo of the Connie. I looked at it and it brought back some memories. Suddenly, my eyes were drawn to a headline dating back to the same year I flew to Canada. It read, "Super Constellation crashes off the coast of Ireland." The flight was KLM 607E, which had just landed in Shannon after departing Amsterdam. Its destination was Gander, Newfoundland, followed by New York City. Shortly after takeoff from Shannon, a propeller malfunctioned, causing metal particles to clog the oil line and sending all 99 people on board, 90 passengers and 9 crew, to their death. This was the deadliest civil aviation disaster involving a single aircraft at the time. My reason for being totally stunned when I read this was the flight left Amsterdam Schiphol Airport and had the exact same routing as the one I was on except the last leg. It was the identical aircraft I boarded, and was not only the same year as I came over, but it left an hour before my flight on the very same day. I felt a shiver run the length of my spine when I read this story. I never knew about the incident, and I'm not sure if my parents did either. I've been on 6 airplane mishaps during my life, on more than 800 flights. But this one, my very first time in the air, will have a special meaning for me as destiny took its course. I'm Jonathan van Bilsen, and this is You've Got to Be Kidding.
Palmer Park washroom project is moving forward. Dan Kearns, The Standard. Scugog. The Township of Scugog is moving forward with a project to create public washrooms in Port Perry's Palmer Park. At a special council meeting on Monday, April 3rd, councillors voted to award the contract for the prefabricated washrooms project to Green Flush Technologies and to endorse an application for funding through the Ministry for Seniors and Accessibility's Inclusive Community Grant Program. A report from Carol Coleman, Scugog's Director of Public Works and Infrastructure, explained the new washroom is intended to reduce the portable washrooms, which are rented on an annual basis, and provide a better service for residents and visitors. The report stated this complex will include 3 standard-size washrooms and 1 universal-size washroom, a rainwater collection system for flushing toilets, a solar panel to operate interior and exterior lighting, energy recovery ventilation, heaters to allow for operations in the winter, a metal roof for low maintenance, outside drinking fountains and a bottle filler, an outside foot washing station, and an adult change table. Construction is expected to be completed by the end of September. Ward 1 Councillor David Leroy wanted to confirm the design includes outdoor illumination. There will be outdoor illumination in this bathroom. Kevin Arsenault, Scugog's Manager of Capital Projects, responded. DRPS arrests a suspect in the murder investigation of Scugog woman Katie Kainz. Dan Kearns, The Standard. Durham Regional Police have arrested a suspect for the murder of a Scugog woman in Oshawa. On Wednesday, April 5th, Detective Sergeant Doris Carrier from the Durham Region Police Service Major Crime Homicide Unit announced the local police service had apprehended and arrested 37-year-old Oshawa resident Adam Odette, charging him with second-degree murder and attempted murder. A Canada-wide warrant had been put out for his arrest after 2 women were stabbed at an address on Simcoe Street in Oshawa on Sunday, March 12th. Police arrived on the scene and located 2 adult females suffering from stab wounds. Both females were transported to Toronto area trauma centers, where one has succumbed to her injuries, read a DRPS press release from March 15th. Seagrave's Katie Kainz, who was 26 years old, was identified as the woman who was killed in the incident. Last night, at approximately 10:25 p.m., our 911 communications unit received an anonymous call, indicating that accused suspect Adam Odette was believed to be hiding in the stairwell of a residential building in the area of Wilson Road and Rosslyn Road East in Oshawa. Our frontline investigators attended the scene and quickly police set up a perimeter. Detective Sergeant Carrier told reporters at the April 5th press conference. He added Mr. Odette was taken into custody without incident. The second woman's injuries are being described as severe and life-altering. Police are asking anyone who has further information on this case to contact Detective Thorne of the Major Crimes Homicide Unit at 1-888-579-1520, extension 5223. We are aware there are members of the community who had direct contact with Mr. Odette in the weeks that followed the murder, including a male who appeared to accompany the accused in the area of Wilson Road North prior to his arrest. Our team is following up on this information, and we urge those members to come forward, Detective Sergeant Carrier stressed.
You've Got to Be Kidding was presented by X4 Media with permission from the Standard Media Group. We endeavor to make all information contained in this program as accurate as possible at production time. X4 Media and the Standard Media Group are not responsible for any liabilities resulting from information contained in this program. For more information, please visit x4media.ca.
The Standard Podcast was produced by Greenstream Studio for the Standard newspaper.